So two things I want to show you now. So let's say that we've gone ahead and done all of this work and then completed it and we move it over to archived, but then we're stuck. We're like, how do I leverage that? And this is where the true power of MagicBoards comes in. So let's say right now I want to do a very similar funnel next time. So I'm going to put in funnel build, opt in to offer to thank you. I'm going to save this, and what this is going to do is copy all of those results, all of those instructions, all of those links into the draft section of the library. And now I've got an opportunity to come through and edit, because what may have happened is that I actually have links in here that I want to get rid of. So we put in www.test.com. Let's say that I had that and I don't want that anymore. Then I just delete that and it will remove it. But now I have a very clean template for the next time that I want to go through and use this. Now it's in the drafts, and I'm just going to go ahead and now move that across to the library where I can see it. And the next time that I want to run this, so I could either come into my library and run this, or I can also come into my home screen, select it from my sales area, and here it is here. And we're going to go with, let's say this was a test 2. And again, this one is going to be due in 2 weeks' time. We're going to create it. And now it is going ahead over here and copying all of these things, and it's going to be a clean template. It will preserve people that are assigned. We haven't demonstrated that. And it will preserve any links that are in the library. But essentially now this one's complete. Next week, I'm ready to go. And if we click into this, what we're going to see is the instructions, as well as the results, the folder, the Guru, the Google Doc, all copy, the opt-in page, OTO, all built out, ready to go. Now, this gives you visibility. This allows your team to work together. This is a very powerful experience for building what typically takes weeks and reducing it down into the potential to get done in days. So hopefully you're appreciating that. Next time we want to make changes, we can, let's say also that we make an improvement here and build the funnel. You know what? I've forgotten to identify in images. Find / create images. All right, so, okay, list of images required, and then we're going to find, we're going to put images into a relevant folder. Okay, cool. Now that's going to go before build the funnel, but I've added this extra step. So notice something here. I want you to catch is that the improvements happened when I was doing the work, but the library hasn't been updated. So we've got two choices here. One is we could go into the library and edit and make those same changes here. Create image, but typically this is a bit of a pain. You've got to remember what you did, identify images, image list, required images, and then upload to folder and name, you know. So this, and then you've got to remember to put it in here. Now this is difficult. Don't really want this, particularly if you've made more than one change, but that is one way to do it. What I'm going to suggest to you is that you might now save to library, and we might call this V2, save it, and now it's going to come back to the draft with those improvements that were made. If we have a look at this, once it's copied all of these across, then what we're going to see is that this find and create images is in the right place. So what I want you to catch here that's really important is that the improvements happened when I was doing the work, but remembering to update the template library is painful. I have to have both boards open, and this is why SOPs typically don't get updated at all. This is a problem. We're like, forgot to update. Now, if that happened, then, and we had done these improvements and they're in the archive, then we can just come across the archive and find it and save it to the library from here, and that will be fine. We can capture those improvements even if they were forgotten at the time to update the library because the changes got made. But now I'm going to come across to my library. This is the new version here, V2. I'm going to save it to my library, and now I've got 2 copies of the same thing. I don't want that. What I'm going to do is move the old one over to my archive, and now I have an updated version. So the week after this, go ahead and run this. We'll call this test 3. Create the run. Off it goes. Hasn't got a due date, so it's alerting me to that. But it's copying all of these things, and as we come into this, just wait for it to create. I mean, do realize just how much work got done there. Even though it took like, 5 or 10 seconds to copy this thing, there was a lot of work that got done. So next time, we're all ready to roll in this production. This means you can essentially have multiple copies of this. Let's say that you're an online marketing agency and you're building funnels. Like, you could have 4, 5, 6, 10, 15 of these going at once and still have visibility. Instead of putting test 3, you'd have client name. You're running the same process, that same assembly line idea being deployed. So I want you to catch that because that's pretty critical. All right, let's talk about another interesting idea here. So we've done a lot of work. We now have what we started with, which was tracking the required work of a funnel. And then we built the pages for this offer. And then we moved it to our library and we're ready to go so we can deploy multiple copies either at once or over time. This is a very powerful experience.